Thank you, Abraham, for being here. I've had the book for like 2 or 3 months and been doing the processes pretty regularly. My situation is this. I aspire to be an entrepreneur. Currently, I'm an employee, and I've spent thousands of dollars going to seminars, buying books, buying tapes, in like real estate investing and various things, but mainly real estate investing. And the thing that's most frustrating for me is like I would know what to do, but I feel like when I put myself in situations to conduct business transactions, it's like people will say something that I know is like BS that I should just stay away from. And I want to say no to them, but it's like, I'll just go ahead and go along with it.
You know why? Because you are
No.
Well, we'll tell you.
Okay. Please tell me. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are like this. Esther finds herself too. Sometimes when someone wants to sell her something that she doesn't even want, she wants so much for them to get what they want. It's the uplifter in you that's wanting to satisfy someone else's desire. And there isn't anything wrong with that unless in satisfying their desire, you go against one of your own.
Okay.
It really is a byproduct of having lived in a world where it feels to you like it serves you to make that person happy.
Right.
And while there's certainly nothing wrong with helping someone else to be happy, if making them happy makes you uncomfortable, then we would say don't do it.
Does that also tie in with the fact that a lot of times when I interact with people, sometimes, for the most part, it seems like I have to sacrifice my integrity to like please them. So, part of me, I don't want to interact with them that much. Does that tie into like unworthiness or anything like that?
Well, we wouldn't go so far as to call it that. We think it's something simpler than that. We think that it's just a lifetime, and don't feel bad about it because every human experiences it to some degree or the other.
Right.
It's a lifetime of having people respond to your behavior and you being trained by them that you're better off to behave in a way that makes them respond positively than negatively. And somewhere in there, upliftment seems to be intertwined. It's like, I want them to feel good, therefore I will do something that makes them feel good. But then you get all scattered. In other words, you sort of have to get in almost into a crisis situation where you're trying to please so many of them and you're not pleasing any of them before you come to the place of saying, all right, that's it. Please yourself.
Right,
I'm going to take care of my own vibration.
Do you recommend any particular process to like basically just eliminate that problem altogether?
Well, all of the processes will help it. But before a process, our intention would be, I want to replace the factor of them with the factor of my 2 points of vibrational relativity. In other words, nothing's more important than I feel good. And we would also say, I'm going to slow down and make decisions more slowly. And another thing that we would say is, I don't have to decide it right now until I get a real strong hit on it. Jerry and Esther have a friend who has, for a long time, been a magnificent teacher. Esther thinks he's the best storyteller on the planet. His name is Alan Cohen. And he has written a book. In fact, he dedicated it to Jerry and Esther and Abraham. And the book is called Why Your Life Sucks and What to Do About It. And there is something in the book that Esther and Jerry really resonated with and really, really like. And it's called the hell yes. So when someone offers something to you or approaches you about something and your impulse is hell yes, then go with it. But if it's anything less than that, if it's reluctance or, oh, I'd like to help you out, or, oh, I see you're very much in earnest, let me see if I can enhance your experience in some way, then your vibration isn't really lined up and it's going to be a rockier ride. And so that's really a very good rule of thumb, because when you feel like, yes, in other words, you've had those experiences where there was no question in your mind. When Jerry and Esther decided to come together, Esther would have said to the entire world, if they'd been asking, I don't give a rip what you say, I'm doing this. Nothing that anybody could have said would have deterred her even in the slightest, because she could feel what a powerful match it was to all the rockets of desires that she'd been launching that she didn't even know at that time she'd been launching. When they moved to San Antonio, it was a tremendous hell yes. They had no idea how much about that community was going to be a vibrational match to the rockets that they'd been launching in all the years that they'd lived before. In other words, they did not know why they were drawn there, but once they got there and got a look at it, or more importantly, got a feel of it, they wanted to shout hell yes about it, you see. And so that's the thing that we can feel that you are most wanting to hear, is you are very intuitive. You're very sensitive to energy. And you're also a pleaser. You don't want to be, because you can feel in it that there's it introduces some chaos, but you still, and that, friend, is a byproduct of being a born uplifter. When you learn early on that by the sheer behavior that you offer, that you can affect the way other people feel, it makes you want to behave in ways that affect the way they feel. But then you get surrounded by this one and this one and this one and this one, and then your behavior begins to get scattered, and then you begin to lose control. But the worst part of it is you lose track of your 2 points of vibrational relativity.
Okay, thank you.
I want to talk about something specific?
Going into business for myself, I feel that's going to be a challenge for me, because I've tried it a couple of other times and I lost some money.
But think about that. If you go into business for yourself, before it feels like, hell yes. In other words, you get the sense of what we're talking about? It's another way of saying, line up the energy, and when the energy is in alignment, wild horses can't keep you from doing it. Just don't be so quick to jump into action. Have more fun and take more time in lining up the energy. Let the universe do the work. Let law of attraction do the work. Okay. You work on alignment. You've lived enough life that you have created magnificent business for yourself. There is a vibrational escrow for you that, if it were to come today and it can't because you're not ready for it, would knock your socks off. But you can get ready for it in much shorter time than you think. Becoming a financial wizard or entrepreneur is not nearly about action that people think it is. It's about wanting and expecting. So what you want to do is anything that you can do that shores that up. A good exercise would be to look around for people, and you see them in the magazines, you see them on the television, you see them everywhere. Begin collecting some data about people who are successful in their own business, and really successful. We don't mean moderately successful. We mean really, really successful. And read as much about what they are personally saying as you can get your hands on. And begin looking for these factors that we've been talking about here. They had a desire. They played the positive what-if game. They never talked about where they were. They were always looking at where they were going. They surrounded themselves with people who either agreed that well-being abounded, or they were in solitude. They were determined to the degree that they would not listen to someone who was telling them something that was in opposition to it. In other words, they are sort of determined to hold themselves in vibrational alignment with their own dream. And as you listen to them, you'll hear it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. They just stubbornly and doggedly held to their dream, even when the evidence didn't really support it. And they will also say, my mother was mad at me, everybody was mad at me, everybody tried to talk me out of it, but I wouldn't listen to anyone. In other words, it was about mind power. It was about getting their sights on something and then soothing themselves by bringing themselves into expectation of it. Expectation is the most powerful word that we can find in your language, because what it means is I'm focusing in the direction of what I want with a vibration that is in perfect alignment with it. When you expect something that you want to be, you are in a powerful place. So when you want it but doubt it, that's torturous. So when you talk yourself little by little into expecting it by saying things like, there are so many people who have been right where I am, who now are in the place that I want to be. Doesn't that make you feel good to know? Yeah. There are all kinds of people that now have businesses like you want, big businesses like you want, that have all kinds of success in uplifting and fulfilling their reason for being here and bringing in the dollars that they're wanting and making a difference in this world. There are all kinds of people that are now doing that at one time were standing where you are, wanting it, but not knowing how it was going to come about. And as you play down the not knowing how it's going to come about by acknowledging that the path will always be shown to you once you get into that optimistic frame of mind, then you understand that the work is just to get into the optimistic frame of mind. And then the universe takes care of filling in the details of how it will come about, you see.
All right.
So much wonderful stuff before you.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Appreciate it.